Almost Punk Podcast
Yeah,
live first episode of May 2020.
that is
Here we
correct.
go.
Here
What
we
is
go.
the news in the land of punk?
Yeah, there's some stuff happening in the world of punk. There's some albums, some things. Let's see. There was the aliens. There was news about
News
aliens.
about the aliens. Yes.
Yes.
What are the
That
new releases first that are of
okay.
note?
Okay. The releases that I have recently checked out are Homeless Gospel Choir. And it is a band I found out about from Anti-Flag. I think I've mentioned several times that I've been watching a lot of their live streams.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot, and they kept being like blah blah blah, and they kept mentioning this band, and I'm like, am I supposed to know this band? So apparently they are on AF Records, which makes sense. And they have a new album that is called "This Land Is Your Landfill," and it's folk punk, kind of, if you like. Against Me or Fake Problems, kind of, lots of centered around like lyrics and commentary and things like that. Pretty fun album. Not my favorite like type of punk or genre or anything, but worth checking out.
When you say the folk, is it electric guitar driven or is it acoustic guitar driven?
I believe it was acoustic guitar driven.
And does it have a full drum set, or is it just like a dude banging on a snare drum?
I think it's a dude because the Homeless Gospel Choir is a dude named Derek Zanetti. So
does he play all the music and instruments himself?
Oh, I do not know that.
Okay.
I'm.
This is an introduction. This is not
an introduction. Yeah,
I'm
not an expert, but it is a band I've never heard of that looks like he's been releasing stuff since 2010. So he's been releasing stuff for 10 years. I have never heard of him until like a couple weeks ago. So that was cool. And then the other release that I discovered recently is Chabad Religion, which is on Fat Wreck, and it is band with somebody from Useless ID, Fat Mike of No Effects, and it is basically it is their first self-titled debut. It came out in April.
Oh, brand new.
And it's kind of like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, but to like religious songs. So faster, like fast punk speed, but the words are still,
Is it any particular religion, or is it like Jewish songs, Christian songs?
It's all Jewish because it's basically a Jewish punk band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Useless ID is the most successful punk band to come out of Israel.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously it's also a take on Bad Religion, which is like one of Fat Mike's favorite bands.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, if you're into like, covers and sort of theme things and like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes and that sort of realm. It's like it's a really fast album. It's like 13 minutes or something like that. So you can just kind of like check it out, and the whole album is done faster than you can do anything really. So that was another kind of newish release. And then also X there's actually kind of a lot of stuff happening. X has their first album in 35 years with the original lineup.
I did hear about that.
And I guess they were supposed to release it in August, but because, we're all just sitting at home wanting to listen to stuff, read stuff, be entertained, they released it early.
I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet, though. I was wondering if it was more of that country punk stuff that because they're on like Fat Possum or a subsidiary of that.
I was actually kind of surprised at how upbeat the album is. Not that, but compared to what I expect from X. So, it was actually, I liked it. And I guess what's interesting is AFI finished recording their album, sounded like, from one of the interviews I recently saw, but they were saying they don't want to release music right now because it's like such a weird time.
Mm-hmm.
They can't tour on the album. So there's pros and cons, just like with everything. And as we're all debating all of our terrible options with everything that's going on right now. So it's like, there's, two different options. You release stuff now because people might be more likely to listen to it, but it's harder to promote. You can't tour on it, and so on. So
yeah, I was thinking now's a good time if we're in a band that you just start writing new songs because you can't do anything anyway. So it's just like, normally you would tour, put out an album, and then you have that in the middle period. But if you're like AFI and you're already done with your album, I'm like, yeah, you might just have to start another one.
Yeah.
Or else
and I think
you got nothing to do.
Two of them mentioned they're writing books. So
okay. They're busy then.
And then one of them has a kid, and then another one, I don't know what he's been doing. But everybody's kind of busy.
That is a weird thing.
Yeah.
You notice that? I don't know about you, but there is theoretically less to do, but my day is fuller and I'm more tired than ever with less things.
It's crazy. Every day it'll be like midnight and I'm like, how did this day, like I did nothing.
Yep.
And you know what it is? We're just spending all of our extra time doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Also dealing with the world situation right now is so exhausting that like that alone is doing something. Just like you lived another day. That was exhausting.
Yep.
Or getting food is all my time is now trying to get food, cook food, and do the dishes. That there goes all of my time.
I mean, I worked all day in front of a computer, and then after that was done, I looked at my Fitbit. I had 2,000 steps.
Oh, that's an improvement from last time.
And I ate some dinner, and then it was like 9:30, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed. That was it. I mean, I laid in bed. I didn't fall asleep for another 2 or 3 hours, but I mean, the fact that I was already done.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing to the thing that I've noticed that's weird to me is like, it seems like time is going by so fast, even though you think that I'm bored, there's not as much going on, all of my hobbies or a lot of my hobbies are on hold and things like that, that it would feel like time is going slow, but because you lost all measurement of time, because each day is Groundhog Day, you do the same things and you go to bed. Since all of like the events and holidays and things that kind of made different days feel different, they're all gone. It's like Saturday is not that much different from a Tuesday. Yeah. You're still
2 weeks ago, we'd done another podcast, and I had listened to all this music in preparation for it, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to talk about it. And then, like, this week came around, I'm like, I haven't listened to anything new. I haven't done any research whatsoever. I don't know what happened. I've just zombified. It's crazy. I'm done.
We need, I don't know. We need like more variety of activity.
I need more variety of activity.
That's what it is, because I got an injury from sitting too much.
Yeah, I got an injury from sleeping.
So that's the current state of affairs.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
I have to sleep on my back now. I'm not used to it.
Are you a side sleeper?
Well, I toss and turn all night, but I can't do that because every time I toss and turn, I get pain. So I have to just be flat on my back the whole time and not move.
No.
It's not good.
That sounds annoying.
So you can't walk. I can't move.
Yeah.
It's falling apart.
It is. Yeah.
Not doing any exercise. Not doing anything.
Not doing much. Yeah. It's like,
And now is the time where...
Oh, there's one more release I wanted to mention.
Okay, go for it.
So L7 and Joan Jett. So they released a cover of Joan Jett's song Joan Jett and the Blackhearts' Fake Friends. And then that was a side of a single. And then there's another song called Witchy Burn on the B-side. And it was good. I liked it. If you like L7 and or Joan Jett, check it out. I think I like it better than her original version.
That's cool.
So that's cool because it's a little bit heavier. Ooh.
Does L7 sing? Do they do half and half, or is it all Joan Jett, or is it all?
I was like busy rocking out to be taking that much of notes.
Okay.
I think they both sing.
Okay.
Yeah, if I recall correctly. And then, I also wanted to mention last week we talked about masks, and I mentioned that the Thursday masks and thrice masks, the face masks. I also wanted to mention that I failed to say last week that they both started as them making masks to donate, and then people asked to buy them. And so then I think both of them are donating part of proceeds to COVID related things. So I just wanted to mention that they didn't just jump on the bandwagon of making masks.
Yes.
And then since we had that conversation, I've seen at least 2 other bands make masks. Distillers have masks now. Rise Against have masks. I think they also both are donating part of proceeds. But anyways, we totally called it. We had this conversation, and maybe 2 days later, I'm seeing even more masks.
We broke that news.
We broke that news to each other because, but yeah, totally called it. It was just so, it was so funny to see that. I was like, aha, we were right.
Actually, you broke the news.
That's true.
You were like the chief correspondent, bringing back the information to the show.
Right. I need to, have a little video segment with my mask and do like a fashion editorial about which band's mask is the most comfortable. If I can buy one, as I told you, they sell out so fast. Good luck.
Yep. Shoot.
Yeah.
Should have. Well, eventually we'll have these bands. We'll interview them, and then it'll be more of a thing.
Also, I think I mentioned it last week, but I'm still uncertain. How many masks should I own in my wardrobe?
I was wondering the same thing. I was thinking 3.
Okay.
I started making my own mask now too.
Okay.
I'll show you, but for everyone else, I'll just give a verbal description.
Okay.
For also masks, the do-it-yourself ones, I don't believe actually do anything, but I will. I have a piece of foam rubber. Hold on.
Okay.
There you go, like that.
Oh, okay.
And then I cut out a circle from my T-shirt that goes over my face.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I got a coffee filter. I cut that into a circle the same size as I cut the piece of cotton. So then you take the sponge thing, the neoprene face mask, then you put the cotton in front of it, then you put on the coffee filter, and then you put it over your face. And then you got it. DIY.
That's pretty, that's easy. You should make a tutorial on YouTube.
Well, I looked it up though, because they were selling, I was like, I better get a mask.
Yeah.
It's going to take a month for delivery, or
and then you have to pre-order masks now.
That's what I ended up doing. I mean, I ordered it something like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just got it. But I looked it up. I was like, what are these neoprene dust masks? What are they good for? And I looked it up on the internet. These masks do nothing. They don't do anything for prevention, nor one way or the other.
Okay.
But then I'm like, so what can I do? And they're like, well, if you layer it with cotton, then it starts to do something, right? So I'm like, okay, so that's why I got my cotton layer. And then I looked up, I'm like, well, I can't get a real filter. And they recommended a HEPA filter from like a vacuum cleaner. I didn't have one, but I did have the ability to get the coffee thing. So it's like, by themselves, none of these things do anything, but you start adding the layers and it's supposed to start doing something.
I see.
And that's where I'm at, just adding more layers to the DIY face mask.
What's funny is we'll go outside and, just have socially distanced interactions with people. Like I have a dog, so, sometimes they say stuff about my dog or whatever. And sometimes I'll smile at people, and then I remember I'm wearing a mask. Like none of that. They don't know, or because somebody's dog like ran up to my dog, and I was like, yeah, and like no problem. And then I was like, oh, like so much of like what everybody's been saying, you know, communication experts have been saying, so much of communication is non-verbal. Like you lose so much of context of like, how does the person feel about this weird accident happening? Yeah, it's funny. Also, I'm like, should I, but then again, having like a meaner mask, maybe people stay away from you. So that's.
You don't hear much about the emo ninjas out there. Because, you know, as a ninja, you can't express the emotions.
That's
therefore no emo ninjas.
That's why. I've always wondered. And now, oh, speaking of emo, so Emo Night did like a Emo Night prom last week, because all these people that would have gone to prom this year did not go to prom.
Okay.
So they did like, I think people dialed in on Zoom and dressed up and stuff like that. So that's cool.
That got me thinking. An emo mask then would be saran wrap with just a bunch of holes poked in it with a needle, so that way you can see it, your emotional state.
Well, or it would be the mask from the cover of Under Oath album that had a mask.
Oh, that's right.
Emo was, you know,
perfect.
In on that trend way before. That's the official Emo Night mask, if ever. Actually, then they also made masks.
They're gonna put that album cover on a mask, and then they'll sell that.
Oh, that's a good. Okay, so actually, Emo Night is one of the things that made a mask, and their face mask says "Dreaming of a Better Time." And I was really hoping they would do like a melodramatic mask, because I'm feeling pretty melodramatic and emo about life right now. And I kept waiting for them to do it, and then they made like a positive statement mask, and I'm like, no, I want a mask that says like, I'm, you know, life is barely worth living right now, or you know, something a little more dramatic and emo. Like this is emo, like this is Emo Night. This is for people who are like listening to Taking Back Sunday, and you know, and all these extremely dramified stories of heartbreak that, you know, are like super extreme. And I just thought they have some cooler merch than that, but the masks I was a little bit bummed about. I was like, they have t-shirts that say sad AF, like that. I would wear that as a mask. I'm feeling pretty sad about it. Or like, you know,
it's got to be like a razor blade, but it says my heart keeps beating,
something. Yeah, but not like, I don't know, I mean, it's good. People, I guess, maybe need positive statements, but I just, you know.
Oh, they do.
They probably do, but I don't go to Emo Night for my positive statements. You know, if I was into positive statements, I would follow all these other things on the internet that repost inspirational quotes all the time. I'm like, no, this is my, like, you know, feeling escape. You get to be really dramatic and, you know, feel things. And this is like,
not
no.
Self-help section.
No, this is like emo. Like, oh my God, this person did not return my text. Well, the world is imploding, and no one will ever like me again, and nothing has a meaning. Everything sucks. Like, but keep going for 2 more hours.
Yep.
To get to the actual level of drama. So, anyway, you were talking about aliens.
Oh, I was about to. Yeah. That was of all the times to release new information, this is the time the government releases the UFO footage. Come DeLonge taking credit from Blink-182, saying that it was his To the Stars academy that forced the government to release the UAP footage, unidentified aerial phenomena. And that's no longer unidentified flying object. It's unidentified aerial phenomena. So that's something that you need to learn.
Okay, thank you. I have to update my phenomena.
The thing though about the released footage is most people that are into UFO stuff, they've already seen this stuff like a decade ago or more, because it came out, I think it was 2005. Yeah. So the government releases a 15-year-old video of something that's already out there. And then I guess the thing that was different is that the government agreed that it wasn't doctored footage. It was legit. So it doesn't prove anything one way or the other. It just shows that the government acknowledged something for the first time. So that was the big deal.
Yeah, okay. And it's interesting that they do it now. It does feel like they're trying to release it at a time where people aren't as interested. Yeah. Like
it was true.
Like you're just trying to survive. It's like nothing matters anymore. Like it would be such a bigger deal if we didn't have like killer bees and a pandemic and, you know, collapse of society as we know it kind of thing. Like, I would have probably gotten a little
also, the footage that they released is pretty garbage. I mean, you can't see what you're looking at. It's a radar view of, you can't even, it just looks like a blurry light. And the light it moves really quick left to right, and it's filmed by a guy in a fighter pilot or something, and he's like, whoa, that's crazy, it's unbelievable how fast it's moving. And so it's like even the military dude that's making the commentary is like thrown off, because it's like, this is not like anything I've ever seen before, but when you're looking at it, you can't even tell what it is anyway. So it doesn't definitively show anything that exciting, at least to me. Because you could argue that it's just a photon or a plasma beam or anything. You can't say it's a spacecraft. You couldn't.
It must be so exciting for Tom DeLonge he was in Blink-182 before this, to be releasing, because he left the band because he was so interested in like aliens, and he's been the butt of every joke for a decade. Like everyone made fun of him for it, and it must be so nice to be like, haha, like I was right. Like that's
true.
He's probably renting a billboard that says I was right.
He's in a good mood. I read an interview where he just said he's going to join Blink-182. He's getting back in the band at some point.
Okay.
So he didn't say that he's going to get back together with them right now, because he's got Angels and Airwaves. They got to release a new album, and then they got a tour. That's going to take at least a year. Plus, we're delayed another year because of the stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, 2 years from now, maybe it will be the time. But it's going to happen at some point. And then I thought, I wonder if the Alkaline Trio guy's mad because he's got his
Matt
2 years
Skiba.
notice. Matt Skiba. I guess it was nice they gave him 2 years notice. Hey!
Yeah. Well, I really like him, and I like Alkaline Trio, but I never like him in the band as much. I mean, he's great at it. It's just, I think he's too cool. I like him so much better than Blink-182 that it's just always felt like, I don't really care about that. But it's funny, I watched them being interviewed on K-Rock months ago, and Mark talks a lot, Travis like barely talks, and Matt did not get a word in. And it must be really weird when you're like the most known person in Alkaline Trio to then be in a stadium doing stadium tours and being interviewed by everybody, but nobody cares about you. Like it must be such a humbling experience. And I don't look down on him for doing that. It's a great, if you're looking at your career, that's a good opportunity. Yeah. There's way more stuff to do that you could be doing with your life than touring with Blink-182, right?
Well, also he recorded an album with them too, so it wasn't like he was just filling in and singing someone else's songs. I mean, he is, but he also contributed something new that they're also put at least a couple of those songs into the set. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. But I don't know. I just also, want him to have time to do Alkaline stuff.
Yeah.
I'm selfish. So.
Well, now he can start the writing process, at least if he hasn't already. Because like I said, he's got his 2 years notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other, Tom DeLonge, he also bought Space Rocks for like $50,000. That was the other weird thing that happened.
Oh, like recently or a long time ago?
I think it was like a year ago or maybe 2 years, because I've been following the UFO stuff for quite some time. It's funny because I was like into the UFO stuff a long time ago, and then Blink 182 came into the picture, and that's kind of like, well, I'm like, whatever. And now it's become a thing. It's like, okay, that's cool. Just like you said, he's got to be super happy because the government didn't acknowledge anything forever, and now he came in with the big PR, and then they were like, okay, we'll release something to the public. And so that was good I'm glad that they're doing stuff.
Yeah, and it must be so nice when people have been judging and laughing and talking.
Oh, well, I'm sure that's not going to stop, because if you're going to follow the UFO alien conspiracy theory stuff, it starts getting real weird pretty quick from here. So it depends on what he wants to start talking about, because once he starts mentioning Project Serpo, that's another thing that it's fun to talk about. And I'll just briefly mention it. It's where an alien came to planet Earth in like the 1940s, became friends with the government, and then they did a trade of like 12 Americans went to the Zeta Reticuli star structure, and then they traded information. So like if he starts talking about that stuff, that's when he's going to get a lot more grief than just UFOs where you don't know what you're talking about. It's just a UFO. It could be anything. But when you're talking about specific, this alien came to the United States, this alien traded information with us, that's another thing.
So I've been the other thing I've been kind of casually trying to keep an eye on is there are some states that are saying they're going to start allowing concerts. So I know Missouri said they were going to, and then Arkansas is actually going to have the first concert since we've been all on the shutdown, start on Friday, May 15th.
Oh, they already announced who it's going to be?
I don't know who it's going to be. I can't find it. I will keep looking. But it sounds, let's see, it says everyone must remain 6 feet apart, and capacity will be reduced by 80%. So only 20% of capacity will be, and will be actually in attendance.
This sounds like a great show.
Right. I guess. Yeah. And and then the venue will be sanitized by fog sprayers beforehand.
Okay.
So that's a thing. And I've also seen some reports that there's like some, I guess, I don't even know if it's a joke or not, but that they're thinking of doing like drive-through concerts.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like true, but
the 20%
capacity
thing, let's say you go to a club, it would normally have 100 people.
Yeah.
It's a Monday night, not that many people are there. There's only 20 people there anyway, and if there's only 20 people, you're not going to be sitting that close to each other anyway. So it's basically just like a mandatory Monday night show.
Yes.
But on a Friday.
Oh, so I guess this is the concert is Travis McGreedy. I don't know who that is. It's from the band Bishop Gun or something. I don't know.
Don't know.
But that'll be interesting. But it's really funny that people who clearly make these rules have never been to a concert. Like, this is how when the people that are making the policy don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I have never attended a concert that was separated, except like you were saying, the only way to do it is you get a bunch of local bands to open, invite all their friends, and then you're guaranteed you'll only be at like 15-20% capacity max.
That's what I was thinking. It's like it's a Monday night show, and that's the only reason they let anyone do it is because they're like, they don't care if anyone shows up or not because it's Monday night. So let's say this is your new model of how concerts are going to move forward. Every bar is going to go out of business because they don't make any money on those nights. That is, if you take away their Friday night and your Saturday night, and you just give them Monday night every night of the week,
yeah,
they'll be out of business in a month. They don't make any money.
True. Well, I mean, we had such better ideas when we, solved all of the music industry problems a couple episodes ago, and I was saying they should just do several shows a night.
That would have worked out better.
I don't know. Seems easier than trying to do social distancing at a show. So yeah, I'm really curious. I'm going to be following up on that. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the starting point. So
we'll see how that goes.
More will come from that one way or the other.
That's true.
If those 20 people die, then there'll be no concerts for another 2 years. If everyone has a great time, they'll be like, okay, well, now we can do 40% or something like that, and they'll just slowly progress towards that. I guess it remains to be seen.
Yeah, and then I've definitely seen some survey data that says people aren't interested in big events until there's a vaccine.
Yeah.
So
do you remember the Nevada governor or whatever, the mayor was like, if they want to use us as a test market, go ahead. I'm like, shoot, Vegas will be up in no time.
I mean, all the residents, except they don't have as many touring, but they have a lot of residents. I mean, they do have touring acts too. But
if they did that in Vegas, all that people that actually live there would stay at home, and they would just let the tourists come and die. They'd be like, I don't care, I'm not going out.
Yeah, and it must be weird as a band too, because they all want to get. It's the same as us being fans. Like, you all want to get back to normal. We all miss live music. I want to see bands. I know bands want to play.
They'll play.
But it's like you don't want to do it too soon, and people aren't, it's just such a weird time.
The only ones that aren't going to play are the ones that are so set that they don't need to play for money. But if you're a band, like, just struggling to making a living, and they're like, hey, you can come to Vegas, they're opening it up as a test market, I could see any band would just take it. They would be like, okay. If you're going to make money to support yourself, you're going to go out there and you're going to play. There's tons of diseases to catch. This is just another one.
So, and another thing I saw this week it's not punk, but I thought it was funny, is that Gene Simmons was promoting wearing face masks on Twitter, and it's just I don't know, when you live in the world where Gene Simmons is a voice of reason, it just and we all have several moments a day like this where you're like, is this really happening? Like, the amount of excitement I get when I get food that I'm trying to get, or like any accomplishing task that used to be effortless or whatever. And then you have, sometimes, and then you see Gene Simmons.
I'm shocked that he's promoting wearing a mask. I mean, he did write at least two self-help books, but I thought he would have been the opposite. I thought he would have said, don't bother, or whatever.
Well,
so,
he
hey.
said the idea of cloth masks is not to protect you, it's to protect everyone else.
Yeah.
But, I mean, here's why it's not surprising, I suppose. Kiss has always had masks on.
Oh, that's true. Actually, also, you know what it is? He wants to sell them. That's
exactly what I was going to say. My point number 2 was going to be like, he sees this as a great merchandising opportunity, and because especially with Kiss, then you can sell 4 masks because you got to have the band members.
Oh, well, they have more than 4 because they have other band members that aren't in the band anymore.
Right.
So there's at least 6.
It's $20 a pop.
Collect them all. 20. This is Kiss. It's got to be at least $50.
You're right. What was I thinking? I was thinking of normal.
You could buy a set of 6 for $200. That's probably what he'll end up doing.
Hey. We probably, this week I'll probably find these masks online and be like, oh, we called it again.
That's hella fun. Oh, that is. At first when he said the voice of reason, I was shocked, thinking, no, this, wow, that's amazing. And then it did hit me, the money.
It hit us at the same time.
It's totally about the money.
I was like, why?
Genius.
Yep.
He's not donating that to charity.
No.
No way.
Oh my God. If anything, they'll like invent a special tax. You pay if you're an essential worker buying a kiss mask, you actually pay 10% extra.
Oh man, that is the best.
Yep. And the worst. Well, do you have a grudge this week?
You know what my grudge is? Overtime at work at home. That is ridiculous. I've done it 4 or 5 times now in 2 weeks. I know, woe is me, because I still get to work and make money, so that's good. But when you're in front of the computer for 8 hours and then you have to stay another 2 and you didn't know in advance and you're just mad because whatever is going on will not end, and your brain just starts to go crazy and you get in this bad mood, and that's what's been going on. That is my grudge. Overtime in quarantine. Ugh, even worse than overtime without quarantine.
Yeah.
You'd think there'd be all these benefits because you're already at home.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear fancy clothes. You don't have to comb your hair. You don't have to take a shower. I find that those benefits are far outweighed in reality of the life that we live.
Yeah.
It's a very theoretical benefit. It's not an actual benefit.
No, I mean, do I like waking up earlier and having to get dressed for work? No. But is it better than a pandemic that's destroying everything I care about? No.
Is this a one-time thing where once or twice a week I'm working from home and I'm like getting, I'm doing laundry at the same time and I'm living my best life? Or no, I'm not doing any of that.
No.
I'm past that.
Yeah, it's like it's exciting to wear sweatpants, but it's only exciting for so long, and we have passed that months ago.
Heck yeah.
We really have.
Yep.
So my grudge.
What about you?
I don't have a specific grudge. I'm just, everything sucks right now. So everything. My grudge is everything. I'm kind of getting really tired of being at home and bored and just not a lot of excitement to look forward to, if any. So that's pretty lame. I do find something I like though. I think the only thing we should keep post this is contactless delivery.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm realizing every time I do get a food delivery order, I'm usually like in pajamas or sick, or I'm just not well enough or feeling too lazy to even drive to go get food.
Yep.
So that's not the condition I want to have to deal with strange people coming over.
Oh yeah.
And having to deal with that whole awkward exchange. I'm like, no. Can we just tape your tip outside?
Yep.
Or do it in the app? And
don't forget to tip.
No, don't forget. Like I still tip, but then it's just so much easier now. You don't have to have the conversation.
Yep.
My dog isn't going crazy and attacking the person, and I'm getting scratched up. Like, it's just the whole process is painful and obnoxious anyways. Or, like sometimes they leave and I'm like trying to chase them down to give them a tip. It's just like too much.
Yep.
I'm realizing how that wasn't even convenient. Like, I used to think that was convenient and being lazy. Like, you order food and it just shows up, and now I'm like, oh my God, but having that whole minute interaction, whew, exhausting. This is how it is now. They just leave it on your doorstep, and just like in Home Alone, leave it on the doorstep.
Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here. Like, that movie just called it. That's the model for how food delivery should be done. Because literally, I'm always usually I don't do it unless I'm like lazy, sick, etc. And that I don't want to have to, open the door or put on different pants.
Heck yeah.
Put on pants in the first place. Like, yep.
I'm on board.
Okay. I think we should really work on, promoting that message.
Well, anything else before we call it a day here?
I think I'm all good. Be safe, everyone. Listen to Jen.
Listen to more stuff so we can talk about it.
Yes.
Anytime. That will be a goal moving forward for me, is to start listening to stuff again like I was a couple weeks ago. Get back on that music train.
It's okay. We all have our good and bad weeks. And
all right.
struggle.
Signing off.
Signing
It
off.
is Almost Punk Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.